Like a lot of people, a life of piracy has always appealed to me. Swaggering around, drunk on rum, firing cannons at merchant ships and then robbing them of all their stuff. There's a romance to it, mainly from centuries of stories that made the whole thing sound kind of magical. But if Tempest is anything to go by, piracy was actually a bit of a drudge. In this seafaring action RPG, you'll spend a lot of time bobbing around on the ocean, feeling kinda lonely. And then you'll see some shoreline fortifications, and they'll blow you up. It's another App Store RPG that mistakes size for scope, and it pays for it in the worst ways. Instead of singing jolly drinking songs, you'll just be mumbling to yourself about how you wish you'd just die of scurvy. The game starts with a pitched sea battle. You tap a button to fire your cannons, line up your shots, and then get eaten by a giant, multi-tentacled sea monster. Luckily, you survive, and set out to take vengeance on the squid thing. The game walks you through all the mechanics you're gonna need, and it walks you through them very slowly. Which is fitting, because everything in this game moves very slowly. You seemingly spend all your time on your ship. You'll stop off at port, get a letter from a friend, and then set sail again atop the briny deep. Fights happen when you're on the game map, and you can tap a button to take control of them. You probably won't though, because they're not that interesting. There's a lack of tactics here that makes the whole experience feel kind of flat. You sort of swoop around the sea, trying to target your foe while staying out of their way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time a battle will finish and you'll make a sound somewhere between a sigh and an eh. Then you'll get another letter, go to another part of the map, and do the same thing. A game that gets repetitive in the first few minutes really isn't one that's going to get a massive recommendation from us. And then there's the cost. At £7.99, this is not a cheap game. And while it's polished in some areas, there are other annoyances too. It chugs sometimes, and there's spelling and grammar mistakes that smack of a lack of shine. Tempest wants to be the storm at sea, all bluster and noise and chaos. Instead, it's a lot like standing in a cold puddle without any shoes on, while small children throw rocks at you. There's a big idea here, but it gets lost in the swells and eddies of its empty seas.